Welcome guys, this is the big clash between Magnus Carlsen and Vishy Anand in the Tata Steel Chess Rapid 2019. Magnus opens the game with d4, knight comes to f6, we have c4, the queen's gambit, a6, maybe his idea is to place d5, knight c3, bishop b4, pinning the knight, and Vishy plays d5, queen's gambit decline. Now you can take, and Magnus does it. Bishop comes to g5, pinning the knight. Vishy attacks the bishop by playing h6. Now you can take the knight or puts your bishop back, and Magnus chooses to put his bishop back, and Vishy short castles, and Magnus responds with e3. Maybe his idea is to play bishop d3. No, but Vishy plays bishop f5. Now you can't play. Knight comes to d2. Now bishop can take the knight, but he first attacks the bishop by playing g5. We have c5. Magnus attacks the bishop, and Vishy takes the knight. Magnus takes it back. And we have h4. Maybe his idea, if he take, then he will take by the bishop and there will be a pin then. That's why he pushes the pawn. Magnus pushes his pawn again. Knight comes to d7. Bishop f4. We have queen a5. Now he is putting pressure to the pawn. That's why Magnus play queen c1. Vishy plays knight b6. And Magnus chops off the pawn and attacks the rook. But he ignores the rook and plays knight a4, putting pressure to this pawn. I don't know what is Vishy's idea here. Now Magnus can take. He chops off the rook. Now Vishy can take with the king or with the rook. It's depend on his choice, and he takes with the rook. And now the c3 pawn is threatened. But Magnus goes for f3. Now if you take, and there will be a check then. That's why he plays this move. Now Vishy can take. But instead of this, he goes rook e8. King comes to f2 so that there will be no surprise check. And we have b5. And Magnus strikes in the center by playing e4. Vishy takes the pawn. And now Magnus sacrifices his knight. What? He sacrifices his knight. And Vishy happily takes it. And we have queen g5 check. And you will win a knight. What a move, my Magnus Carlsen. Vishy thinks a bit and plays king h7. Now King chops off the knight and Magnus does it. Now Vishy is under pressure here due to the position and he first gives a check. Now Magnus has two options whether he play king g1 or he can also play king to a1. Let's see what he chooses. No, he can't play by the way. He goes with the right choice, king g1, and we have bishop e6. Magnus pushes his pawn and attacks the bishop. You can't take the pawn because there will be a check and you will lose your bishop. That's why he thinks a bit and takes with the queen. That's really a good move. Rook comes to e1, putting pressure to this pawn. And we have queen d2, attacking the rook. Rook comes to e2, attacks the queen. And the bishop is pinned, you can see. Although he cannot move anywhere. We have queen d4. Magnus Vishy chops off the pawn. And Magnus takes the another pawn by his queen. And Vishy offers a trade of queens. Let's see Magnus accepts it or not. He should take the pawn. First he takes the pawn by his pawn. Now he should think whether he should trade it or not. He gives a check first. Magnus plays king f2. And Vishy has to think whether he should take the queen or not. He goes queen g7. And we have a check here. King comes to h6. Another check by Magnus Carlsen. King moves back. And is it a draw? No, Magnus wants to trade the queens. Let's see if she takes it or not. No, it do not. And Magnus thinks for a bit and plays rook to g1. Wants to trade off rooks. Let's see if she takes it or not. No, he did not accept the trade. Instead of this, he goes rook c8. You can see the passer here. Magnus goes for a check. King comes to h6. And Magnus sacrifices his rook. What a move by Magnus Carlsen. His idea is here, if you take back with the pawn and there will be a check and you will lose a rook. If you take back with the queen, then there will be a checkmate by playing bishop d3. What a move by Magnus Carlsen. That's why Vishy resigns the game and what a big clash between them. If you enjoy the video, please hit the subscribe button and help me to reach 1000 subscribers. Thank you. I will meet you in the next video.